Right, it's working.
Okay. Here we go again.
Folks, welcome to Talk Sit About. My guest yet again is my sister Alison. Allie. Say hello, Allie.
Hello, Allie.
To all 9 of them. How you doing?
Hi.
So, before we get into today's topic, which is... That's a good start. Diversity and representation.
Visibility, all that stuff.
That's a catchy title.
Yeah.
I like that.
But that is the thumbnail.
That's the thumbnail. What kind of energy should we be bringing to this? Because I don't know if it should be welcome to Talk Sit About, where we'll be discussing the relevant issues of the day filtered through the prism of movies and television, or should it be hi everybody,
hi lovelies, love and light.
Are you excited to be here?
I'm so excited.
I've just dirtied my pants. That's how excited.
I've peed.
Have you?
No.
Well, you're at that age.
I am at that age.
That's probably isn't too much of a stretch.
The first, I think. Well, could we go for somewhere in the middle? Lovely.
Lovely.
No, can we go for somewhere in the middle, lovey?
Oh yes, Ducky.
Okay.
Of course.
Sweet day. Yeah. All right, my loves.
Hi.
Hi.
So, before we get into what we're talking about today, do you want me to call a priest?
I was.
You're cleansing your chakra.
No, I'm just game face.
Game face.
Game face.
That's it. Okay, I thought it was like some sort of strange Japanese interpretive dance or something.
No, game face. No.
Game face.
Game face, right.
Face. So, last time we were talking about horror movies and things
and
like that.
Bullying and...
Yeah. So it's ritualistic abuse within the family.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So... We're talking about horror movies.
Well, we touched in the last time.
Why, don't you like it?
No, it's fine. I can move a bit. I can bring my knees in.
That's alright. Gareth was straddling me.
No, I nearly switched it off.
Really?
Well, I was like, I can't watch you straddle a man. Which loops us in quite nicely.
To the topic of gay representation.
Topic of gay representation, yeah. Didn't want to watch my brother straddle a man for an hour.
Did you not say that you thought there was unbearable sexual tension and you wondered if we were going to kiss?
I did actually say that. I said, you kissed, don't you? Right, I'm right. I had this intuition. Did you kiss off camera?
Well, that's... There will be another channel set up. Too hot for YouTube.
OnlyFans,
yes, that's it.
That's it.
Holy shit, we've spent about 6 minutes talking absolute crap.
Sorry. Right.
Let's bring it to host, just quickly.
Alright.
Because I never really... you didn't like it, it filled me with dread. And another thing occurred to me, because... Right. It's a group of friends. They're laughing and joking. They're all having a good time. They're distinct personalities. Just enjoying life, and through some unforeseen horror, one by one they start getting picked off. And nothing can protect them, nothing's going to save them. Not being sarcastic, not being happy, not being sad, not being miserable. They're all going to die, one by one, and they have to live with the knowledge of that. And even when you've got the last 2 girls, you kind of think there's maybe a shred of hope that they're going to get away, but nope! They're dead too.
Right.
And I think the reason that fills me with dread is because that is a very good description of life.
It's the description of life.
That's the description of life, and I think that's when you get like a force that you can't control.
But everyone's going to die.
And everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
I think that's where the dread comes from.
Right.
In that.
See, I wasn't bothered. Again, I was like... It didn't grab me. It didn't grab me at all, and I was at the point where I just knew everyone was gonna. I just knew everyone's gonna die anyway. So.
Well, I know everyone's gonna die in real life. I know I'm gonna die. It still fills me with dread.
I just don't think any of the characters grabbed me. Maybe because there was no representation there. Maybe.
I like it. You're keeping it relevant.
Rolf Harris. I can link into anything. Rolf Harris can link into everything.
Yeah, Rolf Harris linked into too much. He certainly did.
He was the king of Lincolns, but go on.
Yeah, I don't think you should compare yourself to Rolf Harris. I think that was a mistake.
Okay.
Was he the king of Lincoln though?
Yeah, when he did that pet hospital thing, it was like, he's gonna get back on his legs in no time, and which brings us nicely into our next piece, and it didn't bring you nicely into the next piece, but he just did it anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he was an old maverick, Rolf. He did a lot of things that you didn't expect him to do.
Master
It
of
didn't
many
make
things.
sense. He was a crack hand by didgeridoo. So, today's topic is diversity, visibility, representation. And you're a gay woman. and I'm
Big old gay.
Yep, and I'm a sassy black woman. So between us, I think we've got this stitched up.
I was thinking, we are complete opposites. For being siblings, we are the absolute opposite of each other.
What do
You
you
being
mean?
a CIS male and heterosexual.
So you don't say cis? Is it? You have to say CIS?
No, I say cis.
Say
cis.
cis.
Say either. I could
well,
just say you're a straight white man, tall white man, and I'm a gay woman, and there's all the things. You're a complete skeptic. You don't believe in anything supernatural, and I'm the absolute opposite.
Yeah,
You have
that's
straight
true.
hair, I have curly hair. I'm gorgeous. You're not. Complete opposites. But yeah, I am a gay woman. I'm a gay woman.
Yeah, get out, sister. But it's interesting you described yourself as gay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a bunch of guys in like
I know, but
pink hoods that
this is
kill
the thing
straight
about
people.
nowadays. That when I first came out in the 90s, it was you were just gay. You were either gay or you were straight. But nowadays there are so many labels and there are so many bands on the spectrum that I have to, being on the dating game again, I have to describe myself as gay because
Is that true?
I do. I have told people that I have dated, I have described myself as gay because they will describe where they are on the spectrum. I'm a bisexual woman, but I have a strong tendency towards dating men, or I'm a strong bisexual woman with a tendency. They will tell you where they are on the scale. I'm gay.
You're just like nuclear gay.
I'm nuclear gay. I like it. I'm going to use that from now on.
See if you get. See if you
I'm
get.
nuclear gay.
Sorry to say this to my sister. If you get a ride out of that.
I'm too old for that. Too old for
Oh,
that.
yeah. Why are you doing that to the camera?
I'm
What's
sorry.
the point? You're trying to attract potential suitors here. Don't offend them, Allie. Yeah. So gay. Can we try singing the gay alphabet? No,
The gay alphabet.
LGBTQ.
That's all I know.
N
No.
A.
I use a term, and my mum's like, you can't say that. You're not allowed to say that. That's terrible. I use queer because for me it encompasses everything.
That's what the Q's
That's
for.
what the Q's for. Yeah, queer.
She's out of touch, man.
I think it's a great label. Well, I don't know. You know, if you say you're queer, then you fall somewhere on the spectrum.
Do
You don't
think,
need to go telling everybody what your exact preference is. You can just say I'm queer.
But do you think that? I mean, that was once a term of.
Yeah, a
use.
lot of people still don't like it because it was a term.
Do you
of
think
abuse.
it's been reappropriated? Like, no.
Well, my answer always is I can use it because I am one, but I think the way you use it, if someone was to call me a big old queer, I'd probably
And
wouldn't mind.
especially if they were doing that with the shoulders.
I probably wouldn't mind. No, I think it's a great word.
Really?
I think it should be used on the spectrum, and then if you want to know more, you could say, "Oh, right, what kind of queer are you?" You know,
Let me get out the fucking.
But my
pie
mum and
chart.
anyone in the older
Pie chart.
generation, you know, anyone over 50, don't like it. They don't like it.
Well, let's.
Yeah,
I'd like to make a general point about diversity and reputation, and I'd like to talk about books just for a second to link it in. I read a lot,
Yeah.
and I make a conscious decision to read a diverse range of people from different continents, gender, ethnicities, age groups, socioeconomic backgrounds, and it's not because I am trying to complete a tick box. It's just because diversity to me means a multiplicity of voices that you wouldn't normally be exposed to. I mean, in a novel, although you've got the publishing industry, you've got editors, you are, in essence, I know it's more complicated than that, it's one person's unfiltered view of the world, sort of channeled through their imagination. So why don't I want to read about the experiences of a female character in South America, or you know, like an older Aborigine guy, and it's enriching, it's interesting,
Variety
because
is the
we don't
spice of
hope
life.
variety is the spice of life. But I think sometimes, because the TV and film industry is an industry, and although you have creatives, it's not one person. Well, you can, like shows like The Sopranos, where David Chase basically said, this is the way I want to make my show, and if you don't like it, fuck you. Same with The Wire, various shows like that. But a lot of the times, the scriptwriter might have a vision, and there might be like 20 producers, there'll be a distributor, there'll be like a studio, or like a like a HBO or some sort of channel head, and everyone will have-
Financing,
correct, merchandise and all
network.
that. Correct. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think that's why it can feel. I mean, diversity in TV and movies I think is important, and it's great. But I think sometimes people can react to. You can almost smell the executive meeting. Right, we need like two. No, get rid of that. We need one woman in there. We need one kind of.
Yeah. Let's do the equation.
Yeah.
Let's write the formula.
Correct. And all that might be fine as well, but a lot of shows and movies that are guilty of that can sometimes forget that it has to be well written as well. I think sometimes I'm on the fence here because I'm not some
Stick a character in for the sake of sticking in the number instead of
so they can go
true to the story. Yeah,
we've done it, and that doesn't solve the problem. That on the surface of it, I mean, I don't like words like woke and virtue signalling and all that kind of thing, but I'm sympathetic to when people identify them and react against them because I can see it. But the problem is the people that come out with that, even if you had a show that was all about just the experience of black people in a certain part of the world where it's predominantly black people, they would go, oh, that's fucking woke, fucking, and it's not. That's a different.
It's for an audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can start when you've got a world view, and I suppose that applies to politics, blah blah blah, whatever else. You can start to see confirmation of your ideology, or something in support of it, or something that goes against it everywhere. If you're kind of, that's the danger. But I like to kind of. I'm in the middle, and I'll go. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because I would consider.
I would say you were well-rounded.
Oh.
I would say you were well-rounded on any topic. I will gladly argue with you on any topic because I know that you've looked at it from both sides. So I would say you're definitely well-rounded when it comes to
I flip-flop quite a lot. My problem is that
you can be easily swayed.
Yeah. As Gareth found out.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, and now, as I'm talking, I'm thinking, oh, we're doing something on diversity and representation, and people are beginning thinking, let the gay woman talk, you fucking fascist! Do you know what? I'm not finished, sweetheart.
Yeah. So, let me finish, love.
So,
doof!
Here we go. So,
yeah.
I'm linking it into personal experience now.
Yeah.
So, I suppose I'm going to ask how important that kind of thing is to you as a gay woman, but first let's...
You're asking me because I'm a gay woman.
This is a fucking minefield. No, but before we link into that, let's talk about when you were young, what gay characters, of like male and female, do you remember being on TV?
Well, of all gay characters?
Like growing maybe up until the last 10, 15 years.
Just what, normal, just any character, or are you asking me specifically anyone that...
No, just any. I mean, because from my point of view, it was Beth Jordache, like Anna Friel, and the lesbian
that
kiss.
Was the beginning. We'll go there in a minute. But
Okay.
I mean, it was like Wonder Woman. It was somebody off Lorraine Chase, because I was around in the 70s. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know who Lorraine Chase is.
She was like 1970s or something like that.
Who was she?
Stars. She was in a program. Can't remember what it was.
She was in a program.
I was five.
Okay. She's gay.
No. I'm just saying. You think about all the females on TV. None of them were a gay representation. None of them on TV.
And there were.
I remember actually when I found out of the word gay, and I was probably about 8 or 9, and somebody said to me, I won't say who, but it was the song I won my way in the jungle, and somebody said to me, oh, he's gay, and I was like, what does gay mean? And they said, oh, it means he kisses other boys, and I was like, why is that a problem? Didn't even realise up until I was about 8 that you couldn't grow up and marry a woman. Didn't occur to me.
Really?
Honest, sweet and innocent little me. Didn't realise that was a thing.
Wow.
And then of course all of a sudden it became, well, it's a really bad thing. The person that was saying to me was like, yeah, I'm not going to say the words because you don't want it to get taken down. But all the homophobic slurs came out.
What?
All the homophobic slurs came out, and I realised. So your introduction right there to what gay is it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. So I don't remember any. I mean, I don't think there were. Prove me wrong. I don't think there were any.
Anna Friel and Brookside.
Yeah, but that was the 90s.
That was the 90s. Okay.
Yeah. So
you're
by
right.
which point I'm 18.
Yeah, okay. So, but then you're 8 years older than me,
Yeah,
so that
so you
encompasses
yeah,
my kind of. And I would say that I can't remember specifics, but anytime it was mostly, I don't think gay women were represented. If they were in TVs and movies, maybe someone slipped them in by stealth. They weren't allowed to show them having a female on female relationship.
I can't remember her name.
Xena Warrior Princess?
Was that her name with Gabrielle? Xena Warrior Princess.
No, just you went like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just thinking representation.
Gabrielle.
I think. Yeah, who was it?
No,
was it Xena Warrior Princess, the woman that wore the leather?
Lucy
thing?
Lawless?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whatever that programme was, that was probably that was before the Anna Friel thing.
Round about the same time.
Around about the same time. So that was sort of your first, because they gave hints that something was afoot there. I think that was actually the first televised gay female kiss. There you go.
No, I thought that was
globally. Globally, I think that was the first televised female to female kiss, but it was a dream sequence. It wasn't actually. It wasn't. They dreamed.
But don't you think that if we look at the kiss in Brookside was an English soap opera set in Liverpool, and there was a gay character, and honestly, this the internet has a lot to answer for, but even without the internet, that was seen as something taboo, something salacious. The newspapers were like, "Oh, two women are gonna kiss, like months."
The world went mad.
The world went mad. Yeah, and what? How did you feel at the time? Because you would have known that you were gay, of course.
Interestingly, you should ask me that question, because by complete coincidence, I actually left my husband around about 3 months after it televised, and yeah.
Directly because of?
Possibly. It was a massive. I mean, it was such a massive big deal.
Oh wait, so.
And I was ages with the characters at that time.
So you knew from a very young age.
Yeah, very young age.
But you feel societal pressure. There's things. Everyone thinks that everyone's cool with gay people now. Broadly, and in the media and things like that, true. But like on the shop floor,
yeah.
No,
there's still.
Of course,
there still is.
They aren't emboldened to be as overt about their homophobia. But that's interesting. So would you say that publicity and the way they handled that storyline actually had an impact on your real life? Really?
Yeah, because it started a fire in you. You're in this. I mean, I'm not going to say loveless marriage, because he was my best friend, and I had a baby. Yeah. But you're in this marriage that's like, oh God, this is. Can you imagine if I forced you to go and bunk up with some randy man at the minute? You'd be like, well, it's what society says I have to do, so I have to do it. And watching that starts a fire in you, where you're like, I can't continue my life pretending that I'm something that I'm not. That is what I want. That's what I want, and whatever it takes, I'm going to go and get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've never told me that before.
Well, we don't only really started having proper conversations in the last year, really. But
what?
Well, not about.
About like.
I've been away for a long time.
I've been away for like
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's good, because I was going to make a little flippant remark. I was going to say, how much do you think it would have helped you as a child if Cagney had fingered Lacey? I was going to go down a flippant route, but I didn't expect.
No, it was life changing. I actually cut the bit out of the paper. There was a article in the paper, and I actually cut it out and hid it in the top of my wardrobe.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, when we lived at the old address, and I would bring it out every so often and look at it, and it'd give me I knew what I had to do.
That is genuinely really interesting, because, I mean, as a white guy, there's an argument to say that I am disproportionately overrepresented, or historically
I would say so.
I have been in media.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But again, it's not something that I ever thought about.
No.
And I guess you would say that's because of your white privilege.
But you think about when you were younger, when you were sort of reaching that age where you know what you know, it's not all I want for Christmas, all I want is some more E-men for Christmas. When you start thinking about what you want your life to be, which is sort of 18, 19, 20, or a little bit older, you imagine if you'd never ever seen a heterosexual relationship on TV, you never had anything to base what a relationship's supposed to be. Imagine someone then showing you that. You'd be like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want. I want a wife and a home, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you'd never seen that up until that point, you'd be like, well, I guess I'll just have to
keep sucking dick. So, but wait,
Yeah.
So would you say then, right?
Mhm.
Okay, this that's interesting and it's really nice. But would you say that the television? I mean, you've got BBC as a public service broadcaster, but does television in general and creatives in general, do they have a responsibility to make sure that everyone's included? Do you
Definitely.
really?
Absolutely. Because this is the point that everybody misses. Everybody's like, oh, it's about numbers on seats and blah, blah, blah. But like I've just said to you, I know what watching that relationship blossom, it wasn't just about the kiss. I mean, the kiss was, it was, but it was about...
I'm sure I must have masturbated too. Just being honest.
Hashtag.
Hashtag freeloader.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag me too. Gee.
Oh God.
Well, certainly a movement.
You edit that bit out.
No.
What was I saying? Yeah, to actually see a little relationship blossom and them date was incredible. It was like, oh my God, I'm alright. You know, and they weren't, because another part of it is growing up. So you're getting to the 90s, because I'm at the forefront of, you know, coming out. It wasn't an easy time to come out, but it was certainly easier than it was in the 80s. The visual that you had was only butch lesbians. That was the only visual, and there's nothing wrong with butch lesbians, but that's not...
There's a range, there's a spectrum.
There's a spectrum, but the only thing I'd ever seen was butch lesbians, and that doesn't float my boat. So
Prisoner Cell Block H.
Right, yeah,
That was a show.
And so I'm like, oh, God, I think I might as well just stay with my husband, really. It's not for me. And then that this was two, not drop dead gorgeous women, two sorry Anna, for real, sorry, can't remember the other girl's name, normal girls, behaving normal, having arguments and having a relationship, and it was like, God, that could be me.
And it must be the same for gay men, because when I was growing up...
Don't care about gay men, I'm only interested in myself, joking.
But
absolutely.
The only things that I'm conscious of, the only representation of gay male characters in movies and TV shows when I was little were the most screamingly gay kind of, hi there,
right,
like
again,
really kind of, and again that is that you do get gay people like that.
You do.
But that became like a part of the offensive, derogatory, like you sissy, you pansy,
fairy,
you kind of,
like
exactly.
you bull dyke, you know, all that. You know.
So how do you think things have changed?
Massively. Well, you know, and I like to sit on my throne every so often and say, well, we were the ones that started it, you know.
I mean, the toilet, or is this like a metaphor?
Either. Okay. Sometimes I sit on the toilet and say, we started it, but we did, because we were the people, we were the first sort of, in the 80s it was still very much hidden. Whereas when you get into the 90s, it started becoming, I mean, God, I still went through some stuff. I had to leave Scotland because of bullying. That was the biggest reason that I left Scotland, was because Scotland was still not ready.
Especially central Scotland in the 1980s and early 90s was not
I had
a cosmopolitan...
4-year-old getting bullied because of my sexual preference.
Yeah.
I was attacked
disgusting.
on a train because I was with my girlfriend. Dawn, coming back from, I think we were coming back from Glasgow, and these guys got talking. Of course, Gobby here's had a few drinks. We're a couple. Oh God, they chased us all the way down the High Station Road. It was awful, terrifying. Taxi stopped in the end. You know, it was frightening. But the early 90s, it was different. So, in my day, like I said to you earlier, you were either gay or you were straight. There was bisexuals, but it wasn't really a term that you heard. So I suppose, you know, admit when something happens. When I first heard about people being bisexual, my automatic reaction was, they've obviously just not made their mind up.
Or
they're
greedy bastards.
Greedy bastards.
Yeah,
they just want everybody.
They
They just want everybody. I know I couldn't be with a bisexual because, you know, God. But really, why should it matter? Because if they're going to leave you, they're going to leave you. It shouldn't really matter whether it's going to be for a man or a woman.
Well,
I mean,
to be honest,
you shouldn't really be starting a relationship thinking, well, when they leave me.
Well, nobody gave me that memo. Fuck.
But yeah, so.
But you've got a greater range of if you're dating a bisexual person, you can have a 50% increased chance of being left.
No. You see, this is the mentality that people have.
Oh.
But that is the mentality people have. Oh God, no. You know, they'll never stay with you if they like men and women. Well, why? Why? Because if your relationship's great, you're not going to be tempted, are you? Do you know what I mean? If someone's going to cheat or leave you, they're going to do it whether they're bisexual or not. So, but eventually I sort of not warmed towards the idea of bisexual. I'm gay. Oh, nuclear, boom!
Nuclear gay.
I'm fine with bisexuality, and then comes trans. And in the beginning I was like, oh no, hang on a minute, I don't really get this, I don't understand this at all, I don't, I'm not transphobic at all, but I went through the process of, I get, a lot of people have asked me if I've been asked if I'm trans.
Ooh, that must have stung.
No, not at all.
That's not offensive to transgender.
Because I've got a really deep voice. So some people have.
That'll get me hung. I didn't mean that as a. See what I mean?
No, you see, we're going to talk about this a bit more, but everyone's entitled to their journey of learning. As a gay woman, I should have been more open-minded towards trans, bisexual, and then you've got gender fluid, and then you've got non-binary. And as each one started popping up, each and every one I've gone, hang on a minute. But then, thanks to TV and the internet, it's very easy to get educated now. It's very easy to talk to someone who's going through that process, who can change your mind and make you feel better. And I would quite honestly say now, I don't see why anyone would have a problem with anybody wanting to be who they were.
I think it's a complex issue, and I think we should maybe not unpack that now, because we might veer too much off the subject. I am broadly liberal, live and let live. You're right. It's kind of, I think to myself, was I cool with the idea of gayness because my sister was gay and I loved you, and it was it makes you understand. You've got someone to relate to that you really care about, that kind of
normalises it.
Yeah, exactly, because it is normal. But what was I trying to say there? I've lost my train. I've completely lost my train of thought. That's not happened before. What was the last thing you said?
I can't remember.
I'm developing dementia before your very eyes. That's great. But you're right. But I was like you. I came to terms with it, normalised, and there is a part of me that thinks I should extend that same understanding and courtesy, and I do. Like, I'm a live and let live kind of guy, but there are certain aspects of the movement, and I've got certain questions about it, and it feels at the moment that it's really hard to ask questions without the finger being pointed at you, and everything's polarised just now. If you ask questions, or what about this? Because I understand to a point, because you said it with coming out. There is a slippery slope of language and slurs that leads all the way to violence. So I can understand the position. We have to stamp out anything that even looks like it could be heading that way, because we have to protect ourselves from violence. I can understand where that comes from, but you should be able to have a debate, because I don't think the trans... I'm conscious I'm going to get kicked off YouTube.
The point
is... But what I'm scared about is because you've got things like body dysmorphia. Now, okay, you can get someone born with both sets of sexual organs, hermaphrodite. I understand there can be a hormone...
No, there's a word for that.
Intersex.
Yeah. I believe that's the better word now.
Intersex, not hermaphrodite. It sounds very exotic.
Good God.
But I concede that, to hormones, brain chemistry, whatever else, so you could be... Well, let's not go there. You could be born in the wrong... Well, I don't mean even to do that. See what I mean? What the fuck?
I know.
You could be born in the wrong body. I understand. But how do you know that everyone with the whole self-identifying thing and... You don't.
No.
And that's the scary thing. How do you know someone doesn't have body dysmorphia? How do you know someone isn't... But then I'm conscious to go, how do you know that a certain proportion of people aren't mentally ill? But then you could say, that's what they used to say about gay people. And you had gay conversion therapy. And I get to the point where I just go, I'm generally cool with it, but I guess I'll shut up now. I don't know.
Because you're scared. I mean, this was the thing. I wasn't when we're going back to, my first sort of conversation with a trans person about being trans, but you have to be brave enough to go forward and say, please explain to me, because I have my concerns about that exact thing. And then then somebody takes the time to have doesn't go, you absolute bigot, you this, you that, you phobic get. They sit down and they go, no, well, okay, thanks for giving me the chance to talk to you. Here's my side of the story. And it's like that, change my mind. it completely changed my mind. Completely changed
One
my
thing,
mind.
but you say that and that sounds great.
But 90% of people would be like, how dare you?
I saw a video on,
How
I think
dare
it was
you?
The Social, BBC Scotland do, and it was a trans person that went through, they were quite condescending actually, but I can get it. I mean, that's nice you doing that, but maybe 700 other people have got up and went, tell me about this trans thing. He's like,
I didn't say it like
fuck's
that.
sake. No, I know.
Like oi, you! You mate, come here! None of that.
But do you know what I mean?
I did it in a nice way.
But she did like a point by point. These are the condescending or he or
No,
fuck.
no.
These are the condescending things we always ask, and then like went through. They might not even
Anyway,
have spoke like that. But
to
anyway.
take it away from all of that,
Uh-huh.
where we were going with it was television and inclusivity and
Yes.
how important it is. And I did some research before I did this because I'm not much of a one for reading books or watching movies or really watching TV. I like what I like.
It's great that you're on this
It is
vlog.
that's why we're talking so much shit, basically. But
No, it's context. It's context. It's
so I
interesting.
went back because I knew about the bury your gays trope. I knew that because
Bury Your Gays sounds like the best musical
It
that's
does,
ever been made, doesn't it? Roll them up! Grab Steve! Come on over and bury your gays! I'd love to see that. Let's finance it.
let's finance it. Let's do it.
Well, we'll do a
We need a
GoFundMe.
writer and a network and a
I'll write it.
creator. All right then.